feels like 10 wins. That's how that feels. Welcome here into Teal, the show. The Jaguars officially in the double digits for their win total. Kyle, it is another blowout. 4 of the last 5 weeks. I wish I had a coloring book or something to keep me busy during the fourth quarter because it was Nick Mullins' time.
Yeah, no, I don't think any of us expected it to be like that, but every week for the past 4 or so weeks, Liam Cohen's asked us how it feels, and it feels pretty good. It feels pretty good, I can say that.
Yeah, the Jaguars are rolling. They took care of business against the New York Jets. And you know what? That's the test of a good football team. A team you're supposed to beat, you beat them. Take care of business and move on to the next week. And the Jaguars are hot right now, and they got a big game on deck. We'll talk about that big game against the Denver Broncos. But we got to start by talking a little bit more about what happened or what went right against the New York Jets because, they rolled past them, took care of business. Absolutely offensive explosion. And talk to me about Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, QB1. That's all you got to say.
Hey, I mean, he definitely got the job done. We're going to get to our grades in a little bit, but like you said, they took care of business. I can't remember the last time the Jaguars had a game against a team they were supposed to beat and then showed up like that. It doesn't happen often, so it was definitely good to see. Well, against the Titans, but I guess not this season.
2 weeks ago.
Not this season?
What do you mean?
I'm saying any other season before now.
Oh, okay,
in
not
the past,
this season.
before this season, when they've gotten into those situations, they didn't necessarily show up. This team has showed up. And I will say that we've talked to players and coaches in the locker room and before and after games. One thing that they've talked about is just the closeness of this team.
Yeah.
And Liam Cohen said that the brotherhood is kind of what football is all about.
Yeah, I think I read one of Cooper Kupp's quotes recently, and he was talking about just how much more you want to be in the building and how much more you want to do your job at a high, detailed level when you care about the guys next to you, right? And shoot, I was watching a video the other day of, I don't even know, it was some division, it was a D3 college, I can't remember the name, and they were doing a video take of all their players going out to practice, and they were answering a question to the camera, and it was like, what's your favorite part about football? And you watch all these guys come out from all different walks of life, all different human beings, come out and answer the question, and like 90% of the answer was my boys, my teammates, you know. And so that's Pop Warner, high school, college, pro. It doesn't change. And so, yeah, this is our jobs, but brotherhood is actually really what it's about.
He's got that right. There's definitely no feeling quite like that locker room, especially when it's a tight-knit group, whether you're in high school or college. Still think about some of my teammates from those times. So, look, this is a close-knit Jaguars team. They hang out on the field. They hang out off the field. And a lot of the credit for that goes back to Liam Cohen. Eric Murray was even talking to us today and said that Liam schedules things to try and get the guys together because he knows how important that bond is.
And I feel like when you watch the team on game day, you kind of see that throughout the game. Whenever there's a big play or a turnover and they all just celebrate together, it's definitely a little different than what we've normally seen.
Yeah, look, you want to have that close-knit thing, that friendship that carries on, because when things get tough, you know you can lean on one another. And you know how to talk to a guy to help make sure that he's still locked in and ready to roll. So this is a close-knit Jaguars bunch. And right now, you know what? The power of friendship is working.
Hey, the power of friendship always prevails. That's what I say.
I guess so. All right, let's get to some grades.
Yes, so we do have some grades to hand out. I think it's only right that we start with the quarterback, Trevor Lawrence.
A+. I mean, it's the best game of his career. A+. I can think of like one play maybe that Trevor missed, but absolute A+. He was dialed in, locked in. I mean, the rushing touchdown here gives the ball to a kid in the stands. The absolute dime to Parker Washington's down there somewhere. And we forget about the one in the first quarter where he throws an absolute laser through a guy to get to Brian Thomas in the back of the end zone. Absolutely surgical day from Trevor Lawrence. I think it has clicked. This was what Liam Cohen was hired to do. He was hired to do for Trevor what he did for Will Levis at Kentucky. He was hired to do for Trevor what he did for Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay, and now Liam Cohen's got Trevor Lawrence playing football like everybody thought he could play football. Travis Etienne says this is the most confident he's ever seen Trevor Lawrence out there on the football field, and keep in mind they won a natty at Clemson. He made it a point to say he thinks Trevor's more confident now than he was then.
Okay, and yes, I'll also say, I mean, Trevor is in his bag, and this is kind of the game that everyone's been waiting for throughout his career, and he finally had it, and it was fun to watch. So if that can continue, the sky's the limit for this team. You mentioned Travis Etienne. Let's give Travis Etienne a grade there.
I mean, you blow out the team. I mean, I think we're going to be struggling to find something that's not an A+. Travis Etienne had a great day. It was not that long ago that people were comparing Travis Etienne to Christian McCaffrey. Okay, the comparisons kind of got forgotten about because there were a couple of down seasons along the way, but it's back. 3 receiving touchdowns for Travis Etienne. He literally matched his career total in just a single afternoon. He took advantage of the opportunities and got his guy a couple of touchdown passes along the way. I think Travis Etienne had a great day. And, I mean, look at the picture of him making that catch. How about that? That's a great frame. That's a great catch from Travis Etienne, a great throw from Trevor. Yeah, Travis gets an A+. Easy.
Yeah, no, those running backs made some pretty impressive catches. It wasn't like they were just easy. So that was good. All right, well then, since everybody's basically getting A's, what impressed you the most about the game?
The most impressive thing about the win for me is the fact that they didn't look ahead. This is one of those games where you start talking about trap games. We didn't even talk about it much last week, but this was the classic trap game. You got Denver on the other side. Huge game. There's a ton of stuff on the line for the Jaguars against the Broncos. The Jets just aren't good. They're starting a rookie undrafted free agent at quarterback. They really haven't had a whole lot going right for them. And when you ask coaches, well, what's good about the New York Jets? They say, the special teams. Like, they were struggling football teams that you could easily look past and start thinking about Denver. The Jaguars didn't look past. Liam Cohen had them locked in, playing week to week. Foye Oluokun last week called it championship week 1. And they were locked in, and they took care of business. That was the most impressive thing to me, is the mentality to stay locked in. I can't count how many times I've heard guys say, be where your feet are. Well, these guys were where their feet were, and they took care of business.
They did not sleepwalk through this one at all. And you said championship week 1 in the books, so now it's time to look forward to championship week 2, and we'll take a little look at that when Teal the show comes back.
I want to be the first to say this here. The way that we playing, the way that the Jaguars are playing, I just had a vision, a premonition. Remember, I don't know what year it was, but remember, I think it was our second year being a football team, and we went up to Denver and beat Denver. I see history repeating itself. I think, listen, the way we playing, I feel like we can beat Denver. We can beat Denver. And then we can be that number 2 seed? Let's go, Big Cat. Let's go, Big Cat.
Yeah, look, you can think back to, yes, the Jaguars did get into the playoffs, go into Denver, upset John Elway and company, and send them home and a packing way back when. Could history repeat itself? I mean, I don't see why not.
KD seems to think so.
Yeah, look, this is a huge game for the Jaguars. So you heard him say at the end that the Jaguars could be the number 2 seed. So winning this game against Denver doesn't lock you into the number 2 seed, but it does give you an opportunity, right? So right now, the Broncos have been rolling. They've won 11 straight games. The Jaguars are going to need a little help if they're going to move past New England or move past Denver. So you got the first bit of help because Buffalo took care of New England, handing them their 3rd loss. So the Jaguars have 4 losses, so you still need 1 more so you can get into that tie with New England. Right now, Denver's got 2. You can hand them 3, and then you hope maybe the Chargers or somebody hands Denver loss number 4. And then all of a sudden, now you got a 3-way tie at the top if the Jaguars keep a rolling, and the Jaguars would have the tiebreaker there. So we could see what happens, but maybe not number 2, but maybe number 1. Maybe number 1 is in play. That road through the playoffs could lead through Jacksonville if all the pieces fall into place.
Hey, we were watching that Denver game last night. We were rooting for Green Bay, but, that's fine. That's fine. Jacksonville has a chance. They just need to take care of business and then just keep seeing what happens. And that's what they've done. It's been impressive.
I keep thinking back to that Commanders game against the Broncos like 2 weeks ago on Sunday Night Football. They could have had that one. But that's all right. Look, the Jaguars got to go out there and take care of business and hand them that 3rd loss. And then you control your destiny the rest of the way. Also, keep in mind, this one could determine a tiebreaker between the Jaguars and the Houston Texans. So the way it'll work is if the Jaguars lose to if the Jaguars lose to the Broncos, Texans win. They'll have the same record, right? Texans would be in first place officially because of the way the tiebreaker is going to go to common opponents, and the Houston Texans are one of the teams that beat the Denver Broncos. So a lot on the line here, not even just when you start talking about seeding, but if you want to win the division, because right now Houston's rolling, they're hot, they're right on your heels. This is an important game for the Jaguars.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to see that happen, but like you said, this is an important game, a big one. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, look, everyone should be excited. Mile High Stadium, a big game for the Jaguars, a lot on the line. This is what you asked for. Important games in December. We'll see if the Jaguars can get the ball rolling. We'll talk more about what the Jaguars got to do to get out of Denver with a dub and keep the win streak going on the next episode of Teal the Show that's coming your way on Friday night. We appreciate you spending some of your Monday night, Victory Monday style with us here on Teal the Show. Good night, everybody, and go Jags.